First of all, very good morning and a very warm welcome team in the Oracle Fusion Financials Cloud demo session 2. So this session is the continuation of the demo session 1 that we had yesterday. And today we will be discussing some of the agenda, including a quick navigation to the application in which we are going to work going forward, right? So the training program is conducted by the Triotech Software Training Program team, and my name is Abhishek. I'm the official trainer for this training batch. So let me bring to your attention first is no coding required. So as mentioned yesterday also, team will not be doing any kind of codings here. Instead of that, we will be still be doing the overall configuration of an application. We will be building up an application right from the scratch, the software application. We will be talking about the best business practices that are followed globally. So how to design the overall solution for a given business in the Oracle Fusion application. What are the key considerations that we should be taking care of, what are the best practices that are followed widely across the industry, and what is the overall approach of implementing Oracle Fusion Financials. That is something we'll be discussing in detail in this training program. Now, a quick introduction about myself. So we also have some of the students who have joined today only. So for them, my name is Abhishek Kumar. I'm an Oracle certified implementation consultant and I have overall 13 plus years of experience in Oracle consulting. And during this tenure, I have worked in various regions. I have implemented projects for various countries like US, UK, Middle East, Singapore, Australia. And I'm also a corporate trainer team. I have delivered 13 plus batches on in terms of the corporate trainings and 20 plus training batches for the regular batches I've done. And during this tenure, I've worked with various consulting companies like Deloitte, Oracle, EYC, EY, and PwC. And also, I've done multiple certifications offered in the field of financials by Oracle University. Now, team, let me take you to the agenda of today's meeting. So these are some quick do's and don'ts. We are recording this meeting and we'll be sharing the recording of this to all these students. And during the session, request you to keep yourself on mute and any questions that you have, your Zoom session, chat session is already enabled. So you can put your questions there. And also at the end of the session, we have dedicated question and answer round where we'll be able to uh, answer all your queries. So during this question and answer round, you can put your questions in the chat or you can unmute yourself so we can take up the questions. Now, what we are going to discuss in today's agenda team, so let's have an understanding of that. So first thing we'll start with is the training outcomes. So yesterday, we have seen or we have discussed the overall concept of ERP. We have seen what we are going to cover as a part of this training batch. Now, today we are going to discuss what is the outcome of this training, what we can expect that once we are done with this training course, what are the different opportunities that we can explore or where exactly we can see in terms of the ERP domain. We'll be discussing in detail about the work profiles that are there. So we had a quick overview on the work profile yesterday. We'll be discussing in detail like what are the different types of role where you can find yourself fit in after the completion of this training program. What are the implementation companies or which all are the implementation companies which are involved in the execution of Oracle Fusion Financials? Means the company who has developed the product, the company who are involved in the consulting or who are involved in the implementation of this product, and which all are the businesses who are effectively adopted this product, right? So some of the key examples will be taking up there. Then we'll be looking into the application where we'll be getting familiar with the Oracle Fusion UI and the other navigational components. So what basically we are going to do here, we are going to access an application, a live application here. We are going to see how the prerequisite, what are the prerequisites of the application, how the basic navigation of the application look like, and what are the initial activities that we need to do as a consultant when we are going to use the application for the first time. So all those components we are going to cover there, and the subsequent topics are related to the application only, where once we get access of the application, then these components are something that we'll be covering there, right? So let's begin with the agenda team here. So the first thing is training outcomes. So this is one of the major questions from the students. that what are the training outcomes, how this training is going to help us in understanding the overall ERP domain, or in order to explore the opportunities in the ERP domain, right? So I have highlighted some key points here. So we'll understand these key points in context to a fresher who is appearing for this training, and in context to the experienced students who are enrolled for this training program. So first is product knowledge. So first thing is going to be your product knowledge. So in this training program, we are going to discuss in details all the financial modules that are covered in this training program, and that is going to enhance your product knowledge. That will help to understand the overall product, what the overall product is all about, how the product works in terms of configuration, how the product works in terms of business processes, in terms of reporting, in terms of accounting and all, right? And this is going to be helpful both for the freshers and the experienced students to gain the product knowledge out of this training program. The second point here is secure a job in the Oracle domain, and that I think that is the reason why we are here for. So one of the key objective of this training program is to secure a job in Oracle domain. So within the ERP domain, Oracle domain is one thing where we want to secure a job, and that is where this training program is going to be helpful for the fresher students as well as experienced students. Now there might be a case where the experienced students that we have in the batch, they are already working in Oracle domain, maybe in some other product like R12 or e-business suite, and now they want to switch or upgrade themselves in terms of the Oracle Fusion Financial Consultant. So this training program is also going to help you out in that case where you want to upscale yourself or upgrade yourself in terms of the Oracle Fusion Financial Consultant. Or maybe the case you are working in some other track, you are part of your human resources team, you are a part of supply chain team, and you want to learn more about the Oracle Fusion Financials so that you can change your track and move to Oracle Fusion Financials. So this training program has been designed keeping that in mind only. Now, third thing is upskill the product knowledge. Yes, as mentioned here, product knowledge is one of the thing, and upskilling of product knowledge, especially for the experienced students here who already have some experience in Oracle Fusion Financial, and now they want to upskill their product knowledge in terms of various financial modules. So that is where the training program has been designed in that way, especially in terms of configuration. So we have many students who are aware on the functionalities part, but really not aware on the background configuration, that how the configurations are done, or how the overall solution designing of the ERP is done, right? So that is where we will be discussing overall solution designing. We'll be discussing how, based on that, how the configurations are done and how the configurations are reflected in the front end in terms of various functionality. Means what are the dependent events based on which your overall configuration will be reflected in the front end. So that is something we'll be discussing here and in detail, and that is going to upskill your overall product knowledge. Now, in this part, I would also like to highlight that along with the configuration, we'll also be looking into some of the security aspects of the application. We'll be looking into some of the data migration aspects of the application, that how to use the file-based data interface spreadsheets which are available in the application in order to bulk upload of data, right? So this is something we'll be looking into two aspects. One is from the configuration aspect, one is from the functionality aspect, where will be using the spreadsheets for the purpose of uploading various transactions in bulk, right? So this is something apart from the configuration and the product testing that we will be uh, covering here. Can enhance subject knowledge. So as the course has been designed to cover all the configuration and functionalities in detail, so that is absolutely going to help you to enhance your subject knowledge on the various aspects of the product, right? And then learn end-to-end implementation cycle, right? So this is again one of the very key important point. So we have designed this training program in a way where the training program is at par with the actual implementation cycle, which means that what all stages which are there in the actual implementation of the product, so same stages will be following here. We will be learning the key inputs and output of the product life cycle stages. We'll understand how various stages are conducted, what are the inputs required from the consulting team, what are the output expected out of each stage of the project life cycle, right? So all these are will be discussed as a part of this training program, right? And also we'll be discussing the methodologies that are followed by various organizations for the successful implementation of the product, right? So those things will be discussed here. Then last not the least is prepare for certification. Many of the students who are enrolled for the training programs has a vision to appear for the certification, to prepare for the certification. So in this training program we'll be discussing those areas also, that how to prepare effectively prepare for the certifications. And if you know that now the certification patterns has also been changed. Now it's more, before it was more like theoretical based concept, MCQ based approach. Now it's a combination of MCQ, theoretical as well as the practical based approach, where during the certification exam you are given access to an application and the case laws are given to you and you need to configure the application accordingly, right? So in both the aspects, this training program is going to help you to prepare for the certification exam which are provided by the Oracle University. Now this was on the training outcomes. Now let's see some details on the roles that we can expect after the completion of the training program. So basically in this part we'll be discussing in detail like what is the scope of opportunities that we can expect in the open market once the after the completion of this training program. So yesterday I have mentioned one thing which is like our organization, that TriTech Software Training Institute, has a tie-up with business, uh, various companies who are into implementation, right? So various business consulting companies, we have a tie-up. So as and when any opportunities are there from their side, the first preference are given to the students who are trained with TriTech Software Training Institute, right? So time to time, we'll be sharing those opportunities with you, right? Now, these opportunities can be in any of these manner. One is as an implementation consultant. So many of the consulting companies, they hire the consultant as an implementation consultant who can dedicatedly work on the project implementation. Then as a support consultant, where the companies are looking for the support consultant role, which means that the products which are already been implemented, to provide support on those products, the support consultant role is there. Then we also have the roles of product testing consultant available in the market, along with the freelancer and contractors. So product testing means one of the dedicated roles where there is an implementation company, there is a business for which the implementation is done, and a third party product testing consultants are hired to test the solutions offered to the business, right? So this is one of the very latest role available in the market, and this is also quite popular nowadays. And along with the freelancers and contractors, which is going to be the fourth role here. So in case you're looking for an opportunity in terms of freelancing and contractors, not in terms of full-time opportunity, then also these roles are very well available in the market. Okay, now these are the broader view of role, but on the right hand side we have something called vendor company, consulting company, end user company. So let's first understand this concept of vendor company, consulting company, and end user company. So vendor company means the company who has developed the product. So who is the company? So the product Oracle Fusion is developed by a corporation known as Oracle Corporation, US based tech company. Now what Oracle has done, Oracle has appointed or in partnered with various partner company or consulting companies. So this includes your big four companies as well as many other mid-size and small-size companies. Some of the examples are listed here. Accenture, Cognizant, Deloitte, IBM, Infosys, PwC, TCS, some of the very popular names are listed here. So these are in partnership with Oracle. These companies, what they do, they are into Oracle practice, into Oracle consulting. They implement the product for various end user companies, right? So end user companies are those companies who are actually the users of this product, who get this product implemented in their organization, right? So some of the end user company example also is given here. So this is something I have taken from the official website of Oracle, right, where the successful implementation has already been done. So in India we have Bharti Airtel Limited working on the Oracle platform. We have Bajaj Alliance Life Insurance. We have SBI cards working on Oracle platform. Uber, you have Zoom, the meeting platform is also working on Oracle platform. FedEx into service and logistics business. Mazda, Bosch into manufacturing business. All these companies are working on Oracle platform, and even if you visit to the Oracle official website, you'll be able to see a broader list of end user companies who have successfully implemented Oracle, who are working on this platform. Right now, why this is important for us, team? So if you see the scope of roles that we have here, right? So as an implementation company, you can work with Oracle itself. So Oracle here do have a consulting company which is known as Oracle Consulting, who dedicatedly involved in the implementation and support project for the end user company, right? So time to time you'll see now Oracle also has its implementation consultant team, and nowadays you'll see even Oracle has started. Before it was only the experienced students they used to hire, but now they also have started hiring the freshers as a part of their implementation team, right? So that is where I have mentioned clearly that as an implementation consultant, you can expect a role in the vendor company itself along with the consulting company. So consulting company always will be dependent on the implementation consultant team. Their time to time they hire. So these consulting companies include the big fours, it includes the mid-size and small-size companies also. So hundreds of companies are in partner with Oracle, and this is something I'm not talking only in India, but globally. This is the scenario where globally Oracle has partnered with various consulting companies. So you can look for a role as a implementation consultant in any of the consulting company across the globe, right? So not only restricted to India or any other country. So multiple companies globally are available here. Then the third thing is implementation consultant in the end user company itself. So you see, many of the end user companies who have already implemented Oracle do dedicatedly maintain their implementation consulting team in-house, where they provide uh, the opportunities of implementing various new features and modules, right? So if they want to get upgraded to new modules and all, so first thing they give preference to their in-house team, and that is where you can look for a role for implementation consultant also. So these initial two roles of implementation consulting companies are also applicable to the end user company, where in-house teams are maintained by the end user company along with the vendor company and consulting company. Correct. Then you have the product testing consultant. So even vendor company Oracle itself has a separate product testing team who are responsible only for the testing of the solutions that are being offered to the various businesses. Same way with the consulting company also. Consulting company also hire consultant for the role of product testing consultant, and same way with the end user companies also. So there also you'll be finding these kind of roles are pretty much available nowadays in the market. The fourth one is the freelancer and contractor roles, right? So every time you'll see it is not the full-time employee team or full-time consulting team who are working with the vendor company, consulting team, and end user company. Sometimes, based on the project requirement, they also hire the consultant as a freelancers or on a contractual role basis. And this thing is applicable for all vendor company, consulting company, and end user company. So many of the students they come to us, they ask the question that we are looking for a role, but not as a full-time consultant, but as a freelancer or as a contractual consultant. So in that case, yes, these roles are also available in the market. Right from the vendor company side means Oracle also hires consultant as a contractors. Even consulting companies have the same, and yeah, same thing with the end user company, right? So in that case, what happens for a particular product assignments, these roles are open, right? And I hope this has given you a understanding that what are the roles that we can expect, and exactly which all companies that we can target for, right? Including the vendor company, consulting, and end user company, right? So don't just restrict with the consulting company. Even the vendor company has similar roles, consulting company has the similar roles, and even the end user companies provide you with similar roles in terms of job opportunities. Now, uh, quick overview of this. We have already seen this part where we have the vendor company, which is Oracle, then consulting and partner companies. Huge list of partner companies available again on the official website. You'll be able to identify who all are the partners with Oracle, and region-wise, country-wise, this list is available. Then you have the end user company, where many of the end user companies means who are using or who are working on Oracle platform, but a specific dedicated list is available on the Oracle official website. So that generally contains some of the big names region wise who all the companies who have already implemented Oracle now successfully working on the Oracle platform. Now team with this team Let me move to the next part of the session where understanding the fusion. So let's try to navigate to the application. Let's see the basics of the application and let's understand how the application looks like. So the purpose of this part is to give you a basic look and feel of the Oracle application. So let me open one Excel sheet here. Let me give you some details here. Right. So in order to access the application team, what we need here is a dedicated URL of the application, a user ID and a password. Correct. So these are my user credentials and this is my URL that we can use for the purpose of accessing the application. Now, is this thing is going to be common for all the businesses and all? No, the answer is each and every business is going to have their unique URL, right? And the URL that we are going to use here for the purpose of the session is going to be a training URL. Means it's a training application, training instance which is available. We will be using it here so that we can do our training in that particular application, right? So what we need to do, let me open a browser first here. So let me just copy this link from here and let me show you right from the beginning. So what we need to do here, enter the URL. So when you enter the URL, this is going to take you on a landing page. So let me just sign out and give you the details here. Okay, so this is how it looks like. This is the initial signing page where once you enter the URL, you'll be able to see something like this, which is known as username and password. So this is where you need to enter your username or your credentials. So let me enter the same here and a password and click on sign in. So once you sign in into the application, this is how you'll be able to find your application landing page, where on the topmost left side you have the logo of the application. So this is a training application. That is why it is showing Vision as the logo. In case of business specific application, the respective logos of the business will be available here. Now this background, these themes, this is something which is customizable, which means depending upon the needs and requirements, the page can be customized in terms of the look and feel. Means how what page color should be, how the font should look like. All these details can be personalized as per the business requirement. Now details here. So good morning HCM lab is my username, right? So salutation and the name of the user, and then you see certain icons which are available here, right? So what are these icons? These icons represent the access of different modules that I have in the respective application, right? Now, we'll talk about these icons later on. First, let me give you some of the other basic navigation. So this particular icon is the home icon, right? So wherever you are in the application, it is always going to appear on the top of the screen. So you can just click on this particular home icon and it is going to take you back on the home screen, right? Then we have some other icons here like favorites, notification, work list and all. That is something we'll be exploring later on when we actually start configurations. Will you see the practical utility of these icons? Yeah. Then let me take you something important here, which is settings and actions, right? So this is the settings and actions part, and here you see an option called sign out. So what you can do, you can sign out from here, or you can directly close the browser also. Both are going to work fine. Now here we have multiple options, right? So all these options are not applicable for us as of now, but going forward one by one we'll explore these options as and when applicable. But the first thing that we need to make sure as and when we get the access of an application for the first time is this one, where you can click on the set preferences, right? Under set preferences we have something called regional, right? So basically, the regional preferences are something which is by default available in the application for each and every user. So you see here, by default, the territory is always going to be United States. Now, this is something that you can change based upon your working location. So if I'm working in India, so I can choose the location here as India. If I'm working in any other location, I can choose the location here instead of United States, any other location. Correct. So let's say I'm working in India, so I'll change it to India. The default date format, right? So this is the default date format. So in the application, any transaction I'm doing, any screen that I'm visiting on which I'm able to see the date. So date by default will be visible in this format, which is DMYY. Now, is it something that I need to follow? Answer is no. It totally depends what date format you are comfortable in. So you can follow any of these multiple date formats. So hundreds of date formats are available. So the ones which are widely followed across the globe. So you can use this date format, the one which suits you the most, right? Let's say I want to go with this DM-MMM-YYY, right? So that is also I can look into. Now, what you have to do here is also you need to remember either I can set the preference as per my convenience here, or in case when I'm implementing for the business, so generally we take these inputs from the business, like what are their general level preferences, which territory, which date format, which time format, which number format, which currency default, and which time zone, right? So if you're implementing for a project in US, let's say you're implementing this application in US, then all this information are going to be US specific only. Now, once I do this, right, so is it going to impact only my user account or is it going to impact the whole application? So generally what happens is if you are having initially when you're accessing the application for the first time through an admin user, so whatever admin user preferences are set here, that is going to be the default information for all other user accounts. But if you are just using a normal account means a account that is dedicatedly created for you, then in that case, whatever information that you set here, whatever preference that you set here, that is going to be user specific, means it is not going to impact any other user account information. So if I have two users, one is working from US, so US specific preference can be set for his account. And if I have another user account working in India, India specific user account can be set here. Correct. So you have same thing, date format you have it here. You have time format, how you want the time to look like in the application, whether in AM, PM format, whether in 24 hours format and all. Then number format, how the number should look like. If depending upon what number format you follow, these are the various options that you have. So based on that, comma separated, without comma separated and all, these are something that you can set here in the general preferences. Then you have currency here. So in the currency option, you can by default what is going to be the currency, that is something you can identify here or you can set it here. So this doesn't mean that my accounting will be done in this currency, not at all, but this is the default currency, means any notification that I'll be receiving in the application for any transactions or anything that going forward we'll see. So for myself, my user account, the default currency is going to be this particular currency. And then you have the time zone, that what how time zone you want in the application to be visible for you. So based on this time zone, system is going to reflect the times for various process. So if I run any report or if I do any process, the times will be reflected in that transaction or report based upon the time zone that I have selected here. Correct. So it's a one-time activity that we need to do when you are accessing the application for this first time. And once you're done with this, right, you can save and close this one. And by any chance later on this any of these preferences gets changed, then this is updatable also. You can update it on a later stage also. So I'll just save and close this one, right? Remaining options are not applicable for now. As and when applicable, we'll be looking into those options. Now, another option here is when I go back to the setting and actions, right? So it is always available on the top of the screen. So you can just click on this where on no issues wherever you are on the in the application. You can just click on this. It is going to open the settings and actions page, and then you can go at the bottom of the page. So let me just navigate to the bottom here, which is about this application, right? So this is the second thing that you need to do as a part of the prerequisite. Just open this page about this application, and then you will be able to see the current version of the application, this one. Okay. Now, how to read this information, right? So that is one of the very important aspects that we should be as understanding as a consultant. So let me give you some details here. So what Oracle does is Oracle follows a policy of quarterly upgrade of the application. Means every quarter a new upgraded version is introduced. Your application is upgraded. Now again the point is it something business needs to take care? Answer is no. It is taken care directly by the Oracle that on a quarterly basis you get the latest upgraded version of the application. Okay. So what Oracle does here is it follows the calendar uh, year starting from Jan ending in December, right? So every year it follows the same calendar. So now here what Oracle has done as it's a quarterly upgrade, so it has divided the whole year into four quarters. One quarter one starting from Jan to March, second from April to June, third one from July to September, fourth one is from October to December, right? And what Oracle has done, it has denoted or it has mapped these quarters into A, B, and C, D. Quarter 1 is A, quarter 2 is B, quarter 3 is C, quarter 4 is D. So if you see the current version of the application is mentioned as C, which means quarter 3, July, August, September. So right now we are in the month of August. That means the current upgraded version for this quarter is already been done here. So this is the latest upgraded version of the application, right? Why this is important, team, to understand. So whenever you are accessing a new application, based on this application version, you can clearly understand if there is any upgrade which is already due, or the version that we have is the latest upgraded one in the application, right? So this is ABCD denotes the quarter. Second thing is, what about this 25? So 25 means the year. So year 2025, quarter 3, which means July, August, September. And what about these remaining details? So here we can have a look. So let me just copy this information for you and then we can break it down into different information here. So 25 here is representing the, just let me just zoom out here, right? So 25 is representing the year, C is representing the third quarter. What 11 and 13 mean? So this product was introduced in the year 2011. So always you'll see 11 is one of the fixed code that you'll be able to see here, right? And in the year 2011, the first release was introduced, release 1, then later on 2, 3, 4, like that. In the year 2017, the release 13 was introduced in the product, and from the year 2017, release 13, this release became a static release, means all the application versions now will be having the static release number, which means in the release number 13 becomes from release 13 the product become more static, and in the initial year 2011 the product was launched. So 24D means year, quarter, 11 means 2011 year, release 13 means from this release the product becomes static, and then you have again the year is 2024 here, in our case it is 25, and the month in which the upgrade took place, right? So this is C, means quarter 3. So quarter 3 is July, August, September. So 07 represents the month in which the upgrade took place. Upgrade took place in the month of 7, which is July, and dot 0 means which is what version of the upgrade this is, right? So initial version is version 0, but by any chance, for any reason, if there are multiple upgrades in a given quarter, then this number 0 will be upgraded to dot 1, dot 2, dot 3, and so on. Generally, it's only one upgrade which is scheduled during the quarter, but in any exceptional case, if multiple upgrades are done in a given quarter, then in that case, we can clearly understand from this dot 1, dot 2, dot 3 that which version it is. Is it version 0, version 1, version 2, and so on, right? So this is how we are going to read the current version of the Oracle, and this is in turn is going to help you to understand that is there is an upgrade due in the application, or is this a latest upgraded application, right? So this is just for the understanding purpose, that you should be having an understanding of that whether I'm having the latest upgraded version or any upgrade is due. How it is going to helpful for you as a consulting team? So sometimes what happens in any every upgrades, right? So what is done in the upgrades, actually new features are introduced in the application, and in case there are any bugs which are identified in the previous version, so those are removed in from the application. So what Oracle does, time to time it release the upgrade notes which actually contains the details of what are the changes that they are going to bring in terms of various tracks like financial, human capital, supply chain, and within financial module wise, they give an upgrade that what are the changes that we are going to bring. Any new functionalities to be added are also mentioned in the upgrade notes, and any bugs that are removed are also mentioned in the upgrade notes. So based on these version, you can have that understanding that if you're looking for a new functionality which is supposed to be there in the particular upgrade, then now whether my application is already upgraded, it contains that functionality or not, right? So that is something where this information is pretty much helpful for you in terms of the version upgrade. Okay, some of the very basic details. Now let me move back to my home page. Now the next question here, what we are going to do here, we are going to configure these modules, right? GL, AP, AR, cash management, fixed asset. So if I have a user account like this, right? So am I be able to configure anything? Am I be able to use any functionalities in the product? So answer is no. This is something which is governed through security rules, right? So we have a concept called roles, and we call it as role-based security. Okay, what does it mean? Any functionality, any configuration aspect will be available to the user subject to availability of roles. Means there is a user account, let's say hcm.lab. If a particular functionality related, module related, or configuration related role is assigned to this user account, then only this user will be able to access that particular configuration aspect or that functionality related aspect, right? So in this current scenario, as this is one of the trainee user that has been created, so it has by default all the roles assigned. So that is where you will be able to see these many icons, right? Otherwise, if it was a new user, then in that case by default only limited icons will be visible. You'll not be able to have access of any modules, will not be having access of any configuration related aspect. Correct. So let me first tell you how to create a user account, right? So as we already have a user account here, but let's say we want to create a new dedicated user for the purpose of configuration, how that can be done. So for that purpose, we need to go to this navigator, right? So this three lines is the navigator where you'll be able to see all the functionalities available for this user account. Okay. Now we can go to this navigator. Under that navigator we have something called tools. Under that tools we have something called security console. Okay, so this security console access is also subject to roles, right? My user account has access of this, right? But later on I'll be telling you based on what role you'll be able to get access of this security console. So click on security console, and here we have something called users. And once you click on user, you have an option called add user account. So we'll be adding a new user account here dedicatedly that can be used for the purpose of this training. So when I click on add user account, this is the set of information that I need to enter here to create a user account. Now if you see here, you have some fields which are star mark here, hashtag mark here. That means these are mandatory information. You cannot skip this information. Mandatorily, you have to enter the information in these fields, whereas the other fields where which is not star mark, those are the non-mandatory. You can even skip this and save the information, right? So let me write some get some details here. So I'll get the first details. So let's say I'll be creating my user account here. Let's say Abhishek Kumar, right? I'll be writing the email ID here, right? Username. So system has taken a default username, which is first name dot last name. If you want to change it to something else, that is also possible. And then you can give a password here. So let me give a password. Okay. Now, once this password is set, I can save and close this particular user account details, which means now this user account will be created after I save and close. Now, what is going to happen? Once I save and close, this user account will be created. But if you see here, there is something called roles, right? This is the placeholder where I can add various roles to my user account. right? Unless and until I have the roles available to my user account, then I'll not be able to access any of the module. I'll not be able to perform any of the configuration, right? So that is the next step that we are going to do. First, let me create this user account here, save and close. Just I need to remember the user ID and password here. Now the account has been created. So if I want to query back that account, we'll just type the username here, and then you'll be able to see, yes, this account has been created. Status is active, means this is an active account for this application. So let me do one thing here, copy the URL again here. Let me open a parallel tab here, enter the URL. This is going to open the screen where I can sign in into the application. Let me enter the username here. User ID, password, and let's try to sign in. So this is the new user that I have created. I'm just going navigating to the landing page. Let's see how the landing page looks like. Click on home icon. Now if you see, there are a few details, a few icons which are available, but only few, right? You don't see in comparison to the previous user where it has a lot of icons which are available. Only few icons are available here. The basic icons which doesn't require any role are available here. Correct. Then you have again the setting and actions options available, and now you see you don't have that many options which were available to the previous user. Only some basic icons about this application, set preferences, those are available here, right? So in order to get the access of the other applicable icons, what I need to do, I need to have the roles applicable for my user should be assigned to my user account. Only after that I'll be able to view various functionalities and various configuration items here, right? Similar to that also, even if I go to navigator, only few icons are available here. Now this navigator and these icons are one and the same thing, means you can access the same details here, and the other way of accessing it is from navigator, right? So both the options that you can use as per your convenience to access any particular functionality, any particular module, or any other configuration aspect, right? Now let me give you the next part of it, that once my user account is created, if I want to have the access of setup and setup, means configuration is something that I need to do. So what is required here? So I'll go to the user account, edit the user account here, assign the roles here. So add role, and the first role that is required in order to enable my user to do the configuration is with this name, which is called application implementation consultant. So you have it here, application implementation consultant. This is the name of the role, and this is the role code that we have, right? So need not to worry about these things because these roles comes predefined into the application. You just have to select the correct role here, right? So here we have application implementation consultant role. Select and click on add role membership. Okay. So once you do that, click on done. Now, based on this, my role is available here, which means that for this particular user account, I have added a role which is called application implementation consultant. Okay. Once this is done, I can save and close. Now, normally what I'll be doing here is on the very first day, whatever the applicable roles are, applicable roles means whatever access that I need to give to my user account, all those roles will be added in the first place itself. But as as of now, this is the beginning. So one by one, step by step, we'll be doing that. So going forward also, if we need any additional role, what we'll be doing, we'll be coming back to this user account, add that particular role, and then we'll be able to work on that functionality. So I'll just save and close this one. Click on done. And now what I can do, I can sign out from this particular account, not this account, this Abhishek Kumar. So I'll sign out so that my roles will be reflected. So one of the recommended practices, once you assign role to a specific user, it's better to sign out and sign in again so that whatever functionality access you get based upon the roles that can be refreshed and you can see the upgraded uh, screen with the applicable roles, right? So I'll just sign out here and I'll sign it again so that I can see the refresh screen. Correct. Sometimes this may take a few minutes also, right? Generally, within few seconds it should be done, but sometimes you see that reflecting the actual uh, functionality may take few minutes, from few seconds to few minutes, right? But let me try to sign in again. Let's see, did we got the access now? So Abhishek Kumar, right? Enter the ID, enter the password. Okay, still not reflecting here. So we'll just wait for this to get refreshed. Meanwhile, let me move to my other account where I already have the access to continue with the topic, right? So I'll go to the home page here, and what I wanted to showcase here is this one, setup and maintenance. Now, from the application perspective team, this is the dedicated placeholder from where you can access the configuration part of the application. What you need to do, you should be having this access of setup and maintenance based upon the role, which is application implementation consultant. And then based on this role, you'll be having this access of setup and maintenance. Once you have this access, click on the same and this is going to take you on another page which is going to look like this, right? So here you can clearly see this is a setup part. By default there is a value which is called workforce deployment. So if you click on this list of values, you'll be able to see all the subject areas which are available as a part of this ERP application. So as this is not only a finance application, it's an ERP application. All the other subject areas like human capital management, supply chain management, financial, all are available here. So all these corresponding setup areas are available here. So what you need to do, if you want to do the financial setup, you need to click on this financials, right? And once you click on the financials, then this is how the functional areas will look like, where you have different modules here listed as a part of the configuration. So if you want to configure payables, here you have the payables. If you want to configure the cash management, you have the cash management. If you want to configure the general ledger, so here general ledger should also be available here. So likewise, all the financial modules which are in the scope of implementation are listed here. Any of the specific module that you want to configure, you can select that module and correspondingly different tasks will be available for configuration. So here you see, if I select any specific module, let's say here, I have selected payables, all payables related tasks are there. So this is required task. I'll just showcase all the tasks. So all the tasks are listed here one by one. You can configure based upon your business requirement. Right. Now, one of the very important aspect I'm going to discuss right now is sometimes it is very difficult for the students to remember the sequence of tasks in which they need to perform the configuration, right? So is it something that we need to do in the same sequence? Answer is no. Depending upon the needs and requirement, we need to identify which all tasks are applicable for us, and accordingly one by one we need to do the configuration of the task, because there are many tasks which are dependent on some other task. So considering that dependency also, we need to identify the task, how it should be configured. Now, in order to make that easy for you, what we have done, so let me take you to another page here. We have prepared something which is called configuration workbook, right? So this is a very important thing. Uh, this configuration workbook we have prepared from our side. This doesn't come seeded with from the Oracle side, but this is something based on the project experience that we have gathered during the various implementation. We have prepared something here, which is configuration workbook. What it has, so if I open this configuration workbook here, it contains all the module specific tasks that we need to configure, and that too in a sequential manner, which means that if I want to configure my general ledger module, so what I can do, I can leverage this general ledger implementation setup template, means configuration workbook. I can refer to this individual task one by one. I can configure this task, right? Along with this list, we also have something here, which means each and every task which is to be configured is mentioned in detail, which means whatever information that you're going to configure here, along with the field name, along with the sample data, we have maintained this information here. So what, which means that anytime if I want to configure something into the application, I can refer to this configuration workbook, follow this particular sequence and follow this sequence of tasks, these fields, and prepare my data in advance, right? And whatever data is here, I can just copy paste data and prepare my configuration in the application. So now there is no need for you to remember the task or offline maintain some screenshots, remember what is the configuration aspect that we want to do. Instead of that, you can very well you leverage this CWB's configuration workbook, right? And this is something which is not only applicable for the training purpose, this is something which came out of a real-time implementation where you can also use same configuration workbooks for your upcoming projects, where what you need to do, you need to take this configuration workbook, take the data from the business, means business can give you the data what is applicable to them, and based on this you can maintain this configuration workbook, do the configuration in the application. So with the help of this configuration workbook, then there is no such need where you need to maintain screenshot of the application or remember what configuration I have to done. So anytime if you have done some configuration, you want to refer it back, again, there is no dependency to go to the application, refer those configuration. Like you can refer to the specific configuration workbook, check what configuration you have done, and any upgrade is required. That is something you can do, right? So this is going to be one of the very important aspects for our training, as well as you can utilize the same for your projects also going forward, where you can maintain these kind of configuration workbook to complete your configuration, right? Now, what we have here is these configuration workbook, module-wise configuration workbooks are available. So what we normally do, we refer this configuration workbook, prepare some sample data, same sample data we are going to configure in the application, and based on those configurations, we will be doing the further testing of various functionalities. Right now, one thing that we are going to focus here is while doing these configurations, right, we will be doing this configuration based out of the best business practices, right? We will be discussing various aspects of configuration, that how to arrive on this configuration, what are the best business practices which are available, what are the options that are available in the application in terms of the configuration. All these things will be having a discussion on, right? So here in the next meeting or from the next class, we are going to start the regular batches here, and in the regular batch we'll start with the first session of GL. So that is going to be our first module, where from where we are going to start. Now let me move back to the next part here quickly. So all the security aspect, the role related aspect just now we have seen. So these things we are going to discuss in detail during the regular classes, and this is how we are going to configure the various modules. General ledger will start up with, followed by payable, receivable, payment, cash management, and asset, right? Uh, so tomorrow onwards, when we start the configuration of GL module, we'll start something with enterprise structure. We'll understand the concept of enterprise structure. What is an enterprise structure? It's going to be a detailed discussion. It's a kind of like prerequisite setup that we need to do into the application to start the GL configuration. So this is from where we are going to start our sessions, right? And all these topics which are mentioned here one by one will be covering that here. Now, let me again now, go back to the presentation here. Again, I'll highlight the course features, especially for the students who have joined today only. So this is a 3+ months course duration, 70 plus hours of training, and the timing of the batch is going to be Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. IST. And what we are going to offer as a part of this training batch, we are going to give you the lifetime access of the video recordings of each and every session. Practical based sessions or practical based workshops will be there, where we'll be doing the real life implementation of an application. We'll be discussing the best business practices and solutions, right? We will be preparing our configuration workbook, right? So along with the video recordings, I'll also be sharing all the relevant documents, including the configuration workbook, so that you can also maintain your set of data, and also going forward, you can use the same document for your project purpose. Then As a part of this program, we'll be giving you the access of the instance. Means application access will be given for the next 5 months, right? And along with the access of the Oracle repository, which will be helpful for reading out the notes which are provided by Oracle in context to the various features and functionalities, in context to the various configuration related aspects, right? In terms of placement assistance team, what we are going to do, we are going to provide you one-to-one doubt assistance. Means even after the class, we can connect the official WhatsApp channel to resolve any of the queries that you are facing while doing the practice. And the approach that we are going to use here in this training program is going to be a real-time project assignments. Means whatever stages that are followed in the real-time implementation, the same stages will be followed here. Along with that, our admin team will be helping you out in preparation of the resumes, ideal resumes for the position of Oracle Fusion Financial Consultant, and then we'll also be helping you out in preparing for the interviews by providing you with the sample interview questions and answers, right? Then last and not the least, referrals. As I mentioned, we have already tie up with multiple organizations in terms of various opportunities. So we'll be in first place, we'll be sharing those opportunities with you guys so that you can apply for those full-time and freelancing opportunities. Alrighty, let me just move to the next part. So as I, updated by the admin team, so we are continuing the early bird offer for today also, because we have new students who have joined the session today. So there is an early bird offer which is going on in terms of the training enrollment. So if you enroll under the early bird offer, you can avail this training program uh, at the rate of 22,999 instead of 25,000. And additionally, we will be providing you an add-on access of the application for the additional 2 months, which means that now instead of 5 months, you can avail the application for the next 7 months if you enroll as a part of this early bird offer today, right? So team, here this is our official WhatsApp number. So any queries related to this training program, any career related queries, or any other queries related to enrollments, if you have, you can directly connect to our admin team on this official WhatsApp number, and they'll be able to assist you in real time. So to complete the enrollment process. And from tomorrow onwards, team, we are going to start the regular classes. So for that, what you need to do is you need to make sure your enrollments are completed so that you can get the timely access of the recording portal, as well as you can get the access of the application. Along with that, the new updated meeting link will also be shared based on the enrollment process, right? So I'll keep the forum open now. So in case you have any queries, please feel free to ask the same team. Right. So the admin team has already shared the link here in the Zoom chat session. So you can refer that link along with the contact details. So in case you have any queries even after the session, then you can connect with them and get the details from them. So you can unmute yourself in case you have any queries. You can put your queries in the chat also, so we can pick it from there.
Yeah, Abhishek, this is Ram. Okay,
Yeah,
today
please go
I
ahead.
just joined this. Today I joined this and
Okay.
late. Okay, the previously what you covered and is there any important topics you started or just you are giving the overview of this?
Right. So in the first demo session, we started with the introduction of ERP and we covered the whole PPT. So what is we are going to do along with the documents and the recordings of the previous session and this session, it will be shared. So you'll be having the access of both.
Okay, from tomorrow onwards, we will start the actual configuration, GL
Correct.
configuration, right?
Correct. Correct. So from tomorrow
Okay.
onwards, we'll be discussing the actual configuration related topics, and we'll be start using the application for the purpose of configuration.
Okay. What are the modules you covered in this entire this whole sessions? All
Right.
this.
You're right. So we have 5 modules that we are going to cover here. So we'll start with GL, followed by AP, accounts payable, accounts receivable, fixed asset and cash management. And along with that, we'll also be discussing some of the security related aspects of the application, approval related aspects, right? And then there are some other areas like file based data interface, means uploading data from the spreadsheets that are available. So the detailed scope is already mentioned in the PPT that was discussed yesterday. So we'll share that also so that you can refer that for the detailed scope of the training program.
Is this training only it's a pure functional, or it's a technical?
So we will be covering here configuration related aspects, we'll be covering here the functional related aspects, and we'll be covering here the reporting related aspects.
Don't have any technical integration.
Integrations are not included in this.
Okay. Who is there any training? Is there integration specific
For that,
you
you can
want?
connect with the admin team. So any ongoing batch for the integrations, and specifically for integrations, so they'll be informing you on that one.
Okay. What is the scope of this? Only for uh, the learning this functional and that's it's like a integrate. It's not integration just for you as you said. It's a everyday load the data. Is there any scope for the? Is there any scope for the opportunities for this training?
Yeah, so basically all the activities that we are going to cover here in this training program is something which is expected out of a functional consultant, right? So all these things will be falling in within the scope of a functional consultant. So when you become a part of any consulting company as a part of the implementation of support, this is what you are supposed to do, where you need to know the configurations, you need to know the functional functionalities, business processes, you need to know the reportings and all. So whatever which activities or the roles which falls into the scope of a functional consultant, all these things will be discussed here.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Abhishek. I think if it's
Thank you.
something is came and I will discuss in tomorrow.
Sure.
Hi Abhishek, this is Vikas.
Hey, Vikas. Yeah.
Uh,
Right.
so you will start from GL. Is there any sequence which you will go through after GL? You will start AP or AR or fixed assets.
Right. So we follow a specific sequence where we start with GL and then followed by accounts payable, then followed by the cash management, receivables, and fixed assets, right? And before starting GL also, there are some prerequisite setups that we are going to discuss and do in the class. And that is the time where we'll be discussing the oral solutioning, that what are the key considerations to finalize the oral solution, and based on this how the prerequisite activities are configured in the application. So this is going to be a sequence of activities.
Okay,
Sorry,
so
I'll be
like
sharing the list of that.
will you be covering the business processes end-to-end business process?
Yes,
For example, GL or AP, you will be covering everything like related to GL or AP.
correct, correct. So we will be covering from the financial perspective for sure, yes. And if any activity that is a part of any other module, other track like supply chain or human capital, we'll be having discussion around those areas. But what will not dedicatedly will be doing will not be configuring those modules, right? We'll be having discussion that how the flow of activities happen between these modules and what are the interdependent activities and all, so that you can understand the overall process flow right from the beginning of one module to the end of other module, right? So that is something we'll do.
Okay, but you will not cover the whole configuration like from start to end for all the modules.
Financials I'll be doing financial. But let's say, for
For
example,
financials.
AP is connected with the procurement module, supply chain, correct? So we'll not be configuring the procurement module as a whole, right? But we'll be discussing the
Okay.
key activities, right? So that it helps you to understand the overall workflow, correct? Similarly, your GL module is connected with your cash management module is connected with the payroll module. Correct. Will not be configuring the payroll module as such, but we'll be discussing the key aspects of the module, like what are the activities, what are the dependency, how the transactions flow from one end to another, like that.
Okay, you are not covering purchasing module. Is it not part of financials?
Purchasing is a part of supply chain.
Okay. Are you covering any reports?
Yes, yes, we'll be covering the reports. So in terms of reports, Oracle Fusion comes with the seeded package of reports. We'll be discussing those reports, that how those key reports were prepared, what are the key output that we can expect out of those reports. Along with that, we'll be discussing a custom reporting tool, which is OTBI reporting tool. We'll be learning that during the session, that how to use that reporting tool for creation of the custom reports. So that is something we'll be covering.
So you will be covering only very high level of OTBI, or how we can
OTBI in
create the
detail, in
OTBI?
detail. OTBI in details will be covering. Then other two like BI Publisher tool is something we'll be doing high level, because it's BI Publisher tool is all SQL based. So instead of doing SQL, instead of that we'll be doing the OTBI reporting tool, where we will learn how to create your own report from the user perspective. So that is something in depth we'll be looking into.
Okay, Abhishek, last question. As a part of solution designing, if I'm
Mhm.
facing some issue from my work, can I discuss with you? Maybe not here, but maybe offline, if you can provide some solutioning or some advice.
Offline discussions, yes, we can do. That is fine. But like within the class or dedicated sessions will not be there, right? Offline we can discuss
Yeah,
if you're
yeah,
facing any issues.
but is
Yeah,
there any scope to have the offline discussions? Like if I need some suggestions for solution design?
that is fine. We can discuss. Not a problem. So even for
Okay.
all the students, like if the students are already working in some project and they're facing some difficulties, yeah, offline we can connect and we can discuss those things. So that won't be an issue.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Abhishek, I have one last
Sure.
question. So, okay. Today I joined, right? What I observed, I think your training is it's too fast. I
Mhm.
think once the course will be start, you you are doing like this, or it's a actual course one start and you will
So
give the
basically, what
details.
yeah what we do is like on a daily basis we have a fixed agenda that needs to be covered, right? I'll be discussing in depth each and every topic, right? And it's a fixed agenda. It's not like that I need to cover as many topics as I can in a given day. No, fixed agenda will take up one by one. We'll go through the topic. We'll understand. I'll take your confirmation if you have any issues. Dedicated question and answer rounds will be there, so that any issues that you're facing will be resolved right and there, right? So that is how the approach will be.
Okay, that is my. I feel that's what I
Yeah, yeah, no problem.
gave
Sure.
today. Is I think it's a demo. That's what you gave.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot of agenda we
speed up
need to
like this
cover on a
only.
daily
Yeah.
basis
Mm.
in this demo session. So that's the reason.
Okay. That's it.
Abhishek, one more question. What kind of certifications we can get from Oracle?
Okay, so from the financial perspective, we have various certification, module-wise certifications which are offered by Oracle, right? So in order to apply for certification, you have to appear for this. You have to enroll yourself for the certification exams, and then you have to give those exams. Right. So if you visit to the official website of Oracle, all the financial modules are listed there in terms which are available for certification. Now, along with the financial, other tracks and also there, but specifically from the financial side, like all the core modules, we have the certifications available from the Oracle side.
Okay. So do you think that after doing this training, can I appear for the
Should
certifications,
appear. You should appear. Yeah.
or some real life project experience is required to appear for the certification?
Now, depending on, say, as within the class only, right, we'll be doing the practical sessions also, right? So how comfortable you are in terms of practice and the overall functioning of the application. So if you're confident enough in terms of the functionalities and all, so because certification exams will be based on these functionalities only, right? You have these functionality, you have the MCQs there, right? So if you follow this class right till the end and do the practice on your own, so at least like one end-to-end implementation if you're able to do and you're able to explore all the functionalities correctly, then I think it's time that you can appear for the certification. But still, you feel like no, there are still more I need to learn in terms of real-time experience. Then it is also possible to appear up that, right? So it
So
totally
every
depends
module
upon
has a certification like
not
GL, AP.
not every module. So what is there is like some of the modules are combined. So like if you talk about the AP is combined with fixed asset and expense management. So like that. GL separately you have, AR separately you have. So a comprehensive list is published on the Oracle official website.
Okay, there is no some standard, for example, Oracle Fusion Finance Consultant like that,
Mm,
based on the module.
no certifications as such, but you do have the various badge examinations where you can secure the badge for various roles. So those are there, but dedicated certification exams are module specific.
Now, are you covering expenses, expense management?
No, expense management will not be there, right? But we'll be discussing in detail when we talk about the accounts payable because there is a dependency. But what we'll not be doing dedicatedly is the configuration of expense module.
So that means I cannot appear for the AP exam because it consists of AP fixed assets and expenses.
Expenses is a part of that certification. Majority of the components will be from the AP side only.
Okay.
All right, team. So I think these are the questions. So what we can do here, if you have not completed your enrollment, team, please do that in first place so that you can get all the credentials and access from the admin team. Meanwhile, we'll connect tomorrow at the same time and we'll start our official training from tomorrow. So thank you, team. Thanks for joining. Have a great day. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Abhishek. Thanks.